Alright, so in this video we're going to be talking about how to manage your time properly as a single dad or even a single mom, just someone who is busy with life, constantly working 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. You really don't have a lot of time to do what you want to do. For starters, I think it's super important to understand that there's got to be some sacrifices. I'm a dad who I co-parent. I have my son half the week. I work for the government. I deliver mail. My hours are kind of inconsistent. It's like I'm part-time, but some weeks I get full-time hours. It kind of just depends, and like today I was off and it kind of worked out good because I had to take my son back, and my grandma had a doctor's appointment. So it just worked out. I was able to take my son back to his mom, and then I was able to do other stuff, work on music, and just other projects that I have, things I really don't get that much time to do. And it's not easy because you got to sacrifice certain things. I don't really watch as much TV as I used to. Like, I remember when I was with my ex-wife, like when we were together, we spent so much time eating and watching TV shows, watching anime. I love anime. So, we would watch so much anime. We would eat, go different places to eat. We spent a lot of money on eating and just doing different things. And that was before our son was born. And then after our son was born, things kind of changed. We were struggling financially. We moved to a different town, close to where she grew up. And so it wasn't like we were spending a lot of money going out, but like we were still eating. We were still getting food delivered to us, and neither one of us were really cooking. And that's just a combination that's not really good for anything. Usually somebody can cook, usually somebody tries to cook more. And I've always been good with eating breakfast. Like, I love to eat eggs. Like, eggs is such an easy breakfast, eggs and milk or juice. Or, I also love oatmeal with peanut butter, berries, bananas. That's easy for me. But then if we were both home, it'd be kind of the thing like, what are we gonna get for lunch? And then it's like, what are we gonna get for supper? And that's kind of the downfall of like relationships. I mean, of course you want to eat with your significant other, but I know that, like, for future reference, for whenever I get in another relationship, like, something I really want to do is cook with my significant other, because I can cook. I went to culinary school a little bit, and it's just kind of hard because going back to the main point in this video is how to manage your time properly as a single dad or mom. Anybody who is busy, and it's like, how do you really do that? And it's like, well, if we're talking about food, then I think it's important you got to meal prep. Like, say it's on Sunday, you get everything that you want to make for the week. You write down every meal that you want, you want to cook throughout the week. And you could just write a schedule. Like, say you want spaghetti on Monday, spaghetti and meatballs and garlic bread, garlic sticks, and a salad for supper. Say that's what you want for supper. Say for Tuesday, you want to make homemade tacos. Say for Wednesday, you want to make homemade wings. Say Thursday, you want to make grilled chicken and a baked potato with a vegetable. Friday, say you want fish. Like, there's so many different things. Like, say you just want different. Like, it's important to incorporate healthy meals as well, not just like random meals. Like, yeah, we're just gonna have this frozen meal. That's something I've gotten away from because it's not good for you eating like frozen stuff like that. But so yeah, if we're talking about food, then it's important to meal prep. If we're talking about, say you got a dream, you're trying to be, say you're trying to build your YouTube channel, then, well, basically all the free time you get that you're not with your significant other or your kids, you got to be working on this YouTube channel. You got to be working on your videos. Say maybe you can only work on these videos at night. Then I would suggest at nighttime when everybody's asleep, if you got a room, then just start making videos in that room. Or if you don't have a room, which you should have a room, then I mean, you could always make simple videos in your car. I mean, I've made a lot of videos in my car. It's, it's whatever works. And so that's something you could do. And for me, since I'm a dad, I'm an artist, I work for the government, I have a family, I'm close to my family, I love to work out. I've really gotten to the point that like when I have my son, I spend a lot of time with my son, a lot of time with my family. And then when I don't have my son and I'm not working, then I'm working on my music. I'm working on my goals. I'm doing as much as I can in that short amount of time. And yeah, it's kind of hard because you got so much stuff you want to do in such a short amount of time. Like today's Thursday, I'm going to get my son back Sunday morning, and I work every Saturday. As of right now, I'm off tomorrow. So I have time, but it's still important to, you got to move with urgency. And that's something I've been doing differently. I move with urgency. I don't waste any time. I don't spend my time watching, TV, binge watching shows. I used to always do it. Trust me, I miss it sometimes. I love my shows. My favorite shows, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, Dragon Ball, Naruto, anime, I'm a big anime fan. Sports, I love keeping updated with sports, but I really don't anymore. Unless, I'm working, I'm delivering mail, and I'm like listening to podcasts. Usually I'm listening to like self-improvement podcasts and different things like that. That's gonna help me elevate. But sometimes I'll listen to like a sports, talk show, or like ESPN. I'll put on clips and just listen to hear, and just listen to what they're saying about different teams and topics and what's going on in sports. But, I don't do it. I don't watch TV. I don't, unless I'm like eating, obviously sometimes when I'm eating or, just need to take a break, just a mental break, then I'll sit down, I'll eat, I'll watch something. Maybe if it's like a YouTube video, it's just hard. Like I've gotten to the point where I really don't watch TV anymore, like watch any Netflix. It's always like I'm always going to YouTube to watch something to just help me elevate, with music, with whether it be YouTube, like making content, or just growing as a man in general, or sports. Like I haven't watched a TV show in a while. I just really don't. But besides TV, like you gotta sacrifice that. Like if you got a dream and you're a single dad or, a single mom, then you got to sacrifice some certain things, and that's just like with drinking. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything like that. I don't really hang out with anybody except for my family. A friend of mine, an old friend of mine I used to play basketball with, he recently just hit me up talking about like going to play basketball soon. And I said, I'd love to because I love basketball. And it's important to, like, you gotta sacrifice certain things, but you can't sacrifice everything. And, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, like you still gotta work on yourself and be as healthy as possible. Because if you're not healthy, then whatever you're working on, whatever you're trying to accomplish, it's not gonna matter because you're not healthy. And there's a certain, at a certain point, it just becomes too much. Like you still gotta do certain things you love to do. It can't just be 24/7, working on your goals, but it just depends how bad you really want it. And, most of my free time, like I said, if I ain't with my son or I ain't working, then I'm usually working on my music. I'm working on YouTube content. I'm doing other things behind the scenes to elevate, to put myself in a better position, to put myself and my son and I in a better position, because, I know back in the day, like I've lost so much time doing other things that really didn't matter. And that's kind of why I'm here right now, because there was a lot of days, a lot of months that I was just wasting time. I was complacent, And so that's kind of what I would suggest doing. You got to make some sacrifices and, cut out some certain things that you really don't need. Like if you're going out on the weekends and that's like your only free time, then you're not, like you really don't want it that bad. You're not going to accomplish your dream or whatever goals you have if you're working throughout the week and then on the weekends you're just partying or watching Netflix and doing stuff like that. Like you can have free time, but you really gotta schedule things too. You gotta schedule like certain time, like at the end of every day, like after you get your main things done. So let's go into this. So you need to write down 3 goals for every day. And then you get them 3 goals done. Then, at night, okay, watch a show for a couple hours if that's really what you want to do. Or, go hang out with friends for a couple hours if that's really what you want to do, But I think it's important, you got to stay disciplined and, really you got to show some accountability. If that's really what you want, if this is really what you want, whatever it may be, like trying to work out, become healthier, you're an artist, or say, you want to grow on YouTube, whatever the case may be, whatever you're, just learn as instrument or, get your degree, whatever the case may be, you got to find that time in your schedule. And, everybody has time, even if you do, 8 hours of sleep every night, say you work 40 hours a week, all of that, you still have time. And, even if you have a son or a daughter. And I would say if you're not co-parenting, like if you have them full time, if you have your son or daughter, your kids, say you have your kids full time, then that's when it becomes a little trickier. I personally don't deal with that. I mean, I have my son 4 days, every other week. And I would say as soon as they go to sleep, you got to work on whatever it is that you're wanting to accomplish. If you're wanting to work out, like reach a certain goal with fitness, with your health, then you can do that during the day too. You can work out with your kids, or just bring some, like I have equipment. Not a lot of equipment, but I got an exercise mat, a yoga mat. I got some weights. I got a bench. I got it's like I don't even know what it's called, but it works your forearms. You like curl them up and then go down. I always used it in baseball. I can't even think of what the proper term, like what it's actually called, but I know it works your forearms. And yeah, so I got different weights, and you can get healthy at home working out. You don't have to have a lot of stuff. So that's something you can do. But if it's like YouTube channel, if it's working on music, other things like that, and you're a full-time parent, mom or dad, then I would say you got to do it when they're asleep. Like as soon as they're asleep, I would dedicate, say you got 3 hours, like you still obviously need sleep too. So say you got 3 hours to just work on what it is you're trying to do. I'd say put 1 hour, dedicate the first hour to something, set a timer, and then do the second thing, set a timer, and then do the third thing, and then do the third thing, set a timer, and then, if you get your third thing done in that third hour, and that's perfect. If say you got to go over it a little bit, then go over it a little. But regardless, if you're getting 3 things done that you really want to get done, then just think about how good you're going to feel afterwards. And so that's something else. I think it's just about having a plan, having a schedule, and just really finding that free time in your day. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy being a single parent. It's not easy, but you can still make it happen. You can still do it. It's just going to take longer than, it may take for someone who isn't a single parent or, just doesn't have kids at all. But that's okay. You can still do it. It's just about putting in that work and then getting in that right mindset that you can do it. It's just going to take time. You just got to just plan ahead, really think about what you want. I've seen it a lot how, I used to think it like, dang, there's just not enough time. And some days, if you work a crazy amount of hours and then you got your kid, and you're just tired. I mean, I get it. Some days you really don't feel like it, and that's okay. I mean, it's okay to have a day off. Don't be so strict on yourself that you go crazy and you're mentally and physically drained every day. But if you can say, okay, I can do this for an hour. If it's just an hour, I mean, think about that. An hour a day is better than no hours at all. And so that's just my thing. You got to be smart with your time, sacrifice some things, plan ahead, schedule things, and just don't give up. It's not that easy. It can be hard trying to manage your time as a single mom or dad. You can do it. It's just about finding what really matters to you, what you really want to do, what makes you happy. And, once you find that out and you have a real solid plan, you make that plan, then it's just about executing. And I know, You can do it. I know I can do it. You know, I'm still not where I want to be yet, but it's just an everyday thing. It's about growth, self-improvement every day, getting better, and, you know, just putting them seeds in. Them seeds, watching them seeds grow. And then before you know it, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, them seeds will blossom, you know, grow into a flower. And that's just, it's an amazing thing, you know? So I hope this video helped you. You know, it's just trying to help others get better. You know, I know what it's like being a single dad and feeling like, you know, sometimes I get overwhelmed. It's part of life, you know, a lot of things you're trying to do. But I think of it as, I'd rather feel this way, where some days I'm just like, dang, there's a lot of stuff I still need to do. But I think it's better like feeling like that than just not having any goals, or, you know, not really just kind of going through life and you're not happy with where you are at, and you're, you know, you end up living with regrets because you didn't go for that one thing, and, you know, you didn't make it happen. You didn't know how. And, you know, it's not your fault. It happens. But if you really want it, then you'll make it happen. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you want to make it happen. And so I believe in you. I hope this video helped you. We'll talk again in the next video. Take care.